This is for all the Rockwell Delta fans out there. Um, I acquired this machine off Craigslist about 4 years ago. I'll try to upload some before pictures, but this thing was ready for the scrapyard. It was rusted, not bad, but pretty bad. There was a giant dent in the front here that came in about 2 inches. The way I repaired it was I cut the section out like this and I welded in a rod here of the same diameter as the rolled edge, so you really can't tell it's been repaired unless you look underneath. But it doesn't matter. It was a shot in the dark. I did not check anything. I completely disassembled the entire machine, the gearbox. Every gear was taken out. The whole machine was taken down to every component. It was packed with chips under the bed. It was a mess. However, it's now completed. I've done some work on it. I made this 5C spindle nose adapter because I have a threaded spindle nose. I do not have the L00 spindle, which is okay. So I know a lot of people have trouble with the adapter, finding one. It's a Morse 4.5. I had one, but it was just so much trouble to get it right. The taper was not correct. I could not get consistent results with the drawbar. So if anybody's wondering if this works, it works like a charm. I have a 3-inch spanner wrench, so I can remove this quickly if I need to. This works fantastic. This is a great workaround if you do not have a spindle adapter. And you can make it on your machine. Just take a piece of 3-inch stock, which is what this was. I cut my thread in the back and bored a hole for the collet adapter. I drilled out the face of the collet adapter. It's attached with 8/32 cap screws. And I did leave a couple thou slops, so if I have a jam up and it gets boogered up, I can correct it and put it back on concentricity. No problem. But this works fantastic. This was a collet drawbar from a Chinese machine, one of the Grizzly machines that I acquired. I was able to retrofit, mount a bracket in the back, as you can see there. And I also, in here, there's I think it's 1 11/16 by 16 TPI. There's a little collar. In fact, here it is right here. Here's what's on the machine. So one of the problems I was having was the drawbar was a little sloppy, a little run out over here. So I bored a new piece that threads on in place of the collar. Okay? And you can see how true this runs. Look at that. Works like a champ. So anyway, as I said, I took a chance on this machine. The reason I didn't go any further checking anything for wear was the threading gearbox must have never been used, like literally. Like there was absolutely zero wear on any of the gears or bushings in here. The only thing that was worn on the machine was the bushing for the crank cross slide. I had to acquire a new brass gear for the cross feed, for the in feed. Everybody knows which gear I'm talking about, the famous, infamous worm gear that wears out. So that's new. The machine is essentially brand new. I've run a test bar across here and like literally maybe 1/10 of a thou over over a foot. And normally you see a lot of wear in the front because that's where most of your turning's done. But I'm not seeing that in this machine, which is one of the things I was worried about. So I'm very pleased with the outcome. I even molded a new rubber mat for the top out of urethane. I also made a new flap guard down here out of urethane. I mean, you can't get a more fully restored machine than this. The entire Reeves drive was disassembled, cleaned, painted. I even painted the motor. Very proud of this restoration. But it wasn't all about the restoration. I'm actually going to use this machine. It's quite capable. I hope to make a little money with it and learn a little more at the same time. So there you go. One of the other things I did, if you're going to restore one of these, I'll give you a tip. Under here there's a shelf pan normally, and it's tack welded in about 12 spots in the center. So what I did, you can't see it, but well, maybe you can see it back there. I moved it to the back. So I moved the shelf brace pan all the way to the back of the machine. And the reason I did that is I happened upon a picture on Google where somebody had a custom toolbox underneath. So turns out the U.S. General Harbor Freight box that they sell, same one they've been selling for years, they're like $150. It fits in here like a glove. And let me tell you, it's the most handiest thing. I mean, I got all my indicators and my specialty tools in here. Got my cutters, inserts. Got some files down in the second drawer. Drill set, tap set, hammer, rubber hammer. My layout die stuff. I mean, it's great. So I hope you like it. I hope I gave you some tips and ideas if you're restoring one of these. You know, if you go online and you read up on these, the Rockwell Delta 11-inch machines, you see a lot of conflicting reviews. Like, well, they're okay. Let me tell you something that's bullshit, okay? This is if you get one of these that's not worn out and not badly damaged, these things will last 100 years in your home shop if you don't break it. These are a well-built, a fully featured machine for its time. Don't know if you know this, but it has the unique threading step in the back here. So you just pop this lever in and look. You don't have to worry about, oh, am I at zero? Well, you're at zero. If you zero your compound for threading and have all your zeros set, you set your stop so it's in that position. And look at that. That's it. So you're always return. It also has, which a lot of machines don't, is the threading or the tailstock indicator. You can adjust this. A lot of them they're not adjustable. Yeah, great machine, very capable. I've taken 100 thou passes off 3-inch stock, and I'm sure I could push it further, but there's no need. No, it won't do what a 12 or 13-inch some of those machines will do, but it's quite capable. This came in two models, 1136 and 11 by 20 something, a little shorter version. This is the longer one. Yeah, I was very meticulous about restoring this. So I gave it a little personal touch with the blue for the speed part. And if you calibrate these correctly, they are pretty accurate. I use an RPM indicator. You simply loosen this screw up and you can move the dial, okay? And once you set it, it stays pretty good. So there you have it. I hope you like it. And if you see one of these or get an opportunity to acquire one, my recommendation is do it if the price is right, because they are a great machine. And when they're properly tuned up, they're very quiet. And I say that as compared to a modern Chinese machine. Very, very quiet. Very smooth too. Not a lot of vibration. Very little vibration. And the other nice feature on these, you quickly go from loose spindle to lock spindle to back gear, just like that. You're done. The only drawback with this, and you got to be careful if you do get one of these machines, this will not. Don't ever trust the lockout on these, because 90% of the time they don't work. If you ever move this while the machine's running, you just cooked your back gear. You're done. So that's the only thing you got to be careful of. Other than that, fantastic machine. Very accurate cuts, very nice finish. I've used some of the newer Grizzly machines, the cheap, similar size ones, and they're garbage. I mean, it doesn't even compare to this. This was 1959. I looked up the serial number. So, machine's 50 years old or better. You can't buy quality like this today. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to acquire one and you're wondering, don't wonder. It's a great tool room lathe. And if you can get collets set up like I did, that's a bonus. So there you go.